Hello everyone, my name is Sofia Dayan Katindi Garcia and welcome to the Peaceful Classroom. The Peaceful Classroom is a dedicated space where parents, educators, and other professionals come together to talk about ideas on how to promote positivity and peace in the lives of their children and teens. In its real sense, a peaceful classroom is one where students feel safe, secure, and comfortable in their learning environment. However, there are many things happening around us which challenge even our own sense of balance, our own sense of peace. Today's episode will be about teachers, with teachers currently preoccupied with converting lessons into the digital platform. A general feeling of anxiety, fear, and inadequacy, coupled with the daunting task of doing domestic chores in a work-from-home setup, can be very overwhelming and depressing. Just think about online classes. Online classes are challenging because teachers need to work harder to check on the students' level of understanding. They have to observe facial expressions, the student's tone of voice, body language, or any sign that gives them an idea of how students are taking in the information. Paying attention to these, even in silence, consumes a lot of energy. It won't be a surprise if teachers express feelings of being tired and overwhelmed. With the many roles they need to play at home, teachers feel exhausted and drained physically. In order to function well, we need to pay attention to our physical well-being, our physical wellness. Feeling physically well often leads to the psychological benefits of enhanced self-esteem, self-control, determination, and a sense of direction. We will be listening to our protagonist for today, Gail Reyes Galang. She has a PhD in Child and Family Studies. Currently, she is the chair of the Family Studies program and Associate Director at the Center for Peace Education, Miriam College. Dr. Gail is a mother of 4, and she has been in the field of education for almost 3 decades now. Let's all listen to Dr. Gail as she describes what she considers to be her breakdown moments in the area of physical wellness from the lens of a teacher mom.
Hello, my name is Gail Galang and I'm a mom of 4. Their ages are 23, 20, 13, and 10. When people ask me how I am these days, I never really know what to say. My default answer is, I'm okay, just trying to keep myself balanced. But the truth is, I'm tired. I'm tired and to think that I'm just at home. Before, I never really thought of bringing work home. And I was fine just to let the weekend pass without peeking through my inbox. I had no obsessions about clearing my inbox because in my mind, emails can wait until Monday. My messenger was mostly for socials, and I think the only active Viber group that I had was that with co-parents where we exchange homework of our kids' activities at the end of the day, and perhaps the village chat group where we also exchange news about security, traffic updates, and that's about it. I've been working for almost 3 decades now, and I must confess that there were many days when I wish that I was just at home and that I had more time to spend with my family. Well, I think I got my wish when we all went into a quarantine last March 2020. I had mixed emotions during the COVID-19 pandemic, especially in the beginning. And most of it was about fear. During the first weeks of the lockdown, I was afraid of falling ill, and death seemed to be too near to dismiss lightly. Just like everyone else, my husband and I worried ourselves sick if our food supply would last. The uncertainty of things made us feel very helpless and extremely anxious. I was not eating right, I was not sleeping well, and I was very conscious about every single sensation that I had in my head, my nose, my throat. The only thing I think that was going right for me at that time was that I was losing some weight. Eventually, we all learned how to adjust. Working from home introduced a new set of emotions, mostly that of fear and exhaustion at the end of the day. I don't know with you, but I wake up running already to get things done. Sometimes, instead of going to the bathroom, my first waking hour is spent looking at my email because someone on the other side might already be waiting for a reply. These days, everything seems to be rushed. Everything seems to be urgent. So the idea of multitasking is always something that is very tempting. In the mornings, I prepare breakfast and I always have to do it hurriedly because a webinar follows and that webinar would usually last until noon. On days that I have to cook lunch, it's either we eat lunch late or I tune into the webinar while cooking, which of course we know we should never do. This would have been easy if topics were digestible or easy enough to understand because of prior knowledge. But since we are learning about new apps and new ways of delivering lessons online, it's impossible to multitask and do well on all the things that we wanted to do together, right? I have an anecdote. One evening, I had to take a call in the middle of a meeting, and I was deep into that conversation that when I returned to the meeting, it escaped me that I also turned on the stove just before taking the call. So you could just imagine the stove was on with an empty stainless pan and it was running for about 30 minutes, I guess. Worse, that same evening, I left something cooking for too long only because I was composing an email from my cell phone. I know that there are many teachers who are obsessive compulsive like me. These are the teachers who belabor on something more than what is necessary. As a result, we all feel tired, wasted, and exhausted at the end of the day. Somehow, when working from home, you simply feel tired, or you might simply be feeling more tired than you would usually have felt before. And we are tired for a many good number of reasons. First, we are tired thinking about our safety to a point where you become less strict about safety protocols because it's so tedious to do. Second, you may have noticed that when work somehow assumed of its operations, work demands suddenly changed. New terms emerged like synchronous, asynchronous, time on task, modular mode of delivery, etc. And connection to Wi-Fi became so important that people moved in different places of the house if only to get that better signal. So physically, we compete for space, a space that is quiet enough so that when you unmute to speak, no one will hear your son gaming next to you. Work-life balance was truly disrupted. The demands of work seemed to have doubled because of the limited time to prepare for online distance learning. Work hours became indefinite. With the laptop in my bedroom, I find myself clearing my inbox until 12 midnight and sometimes even beyond that. Or if I were chatting with a group of friends, you can be sure that you would still be talking about work. And even if work hours are from 9 to 5, the mere fact that you're home does not exempt you from skipping chores like preparing meals, cleaning, and doing errands in between these hours. If before I was able to complete a series in Netflix, today I can't even get myself to finish an entire movie. Sadly, being home has put a lot of other challenges, and being tired is one of them, that I don't even have the time to call my parents nor chat with my sisters. Worse, I've isolated myself from my kids because of work demands, that um, we feel disconnected, except during the times when we have to gather to pray at night. You know, if we don't watch ourselves, we are bound to have a burnout. Fatigue and exhaustion will lower our immune systems, and the more we will become vulnerable to getting sick. Thus, we cannot live like this day in and day out. We have to stop ourselves from living on autopilot.
I think most, if not all, can relate to the experience of Dr. Gale brought about by the pandemic. The fear of uncertainty is inevitable. There are changes in our lifestyle, juggling many tasks at home while learning new skills, especially since a lot of work has shifted to the digital platform. The line between work and life has been blurred. Our relationship with our loved ones have been affected too, because of the responsibilities we have to accomplish both at home and at work. Indeed, it can be overwhelming and tiring regardless of one's age or profession. It cannot be denied that this pandemic put us on what Dr. Gale described as autopilot mode. But you know what? You can break free from this cycle and restore your work life balance, even if we are facing a pandemic. The question now is, how does one break free from autopilot mode?
We always refer to the phrase the new normal. But what does it really mean? According to the Research Institute of Tropical Medicine, or RITM, the new normal is a new way of thinking about, deciding on, and doing our usual affairs with an invigorated sense to remain healthy. This can be done by reducing vulnerability, by keeping a healthy lifestyle. Health-wise, it also means reducing virus transmission by observing measures of infection control. It is always important to emphasize to our students that one important way to keep themselves and their loved ones healthy is by reducing the contact with a potentially ill person. This goes without saying that once infected, establishing effective mechanisms to control the illness is necessary. So even if classes will be held online, it is important to put in place strong health regulations and policies, as well as emphasize healthy living in the curriculum. In teaching students, you should not assume that each one has a firm grasp of facts related to COVID-19. At the very least, you should inform students of symptoms related to this virus. For mild cases, cough, fever, fatigue. For moderate cases, mild pneumonia with difficulty in breathing. And for severe cases, pneumonia with organ failure that could sometimes lead to death. It is also important that students know that it could take 5 to 6 days for symptoms to show, and that for some people, it could even take for as long as 14 days. This way, we're able to teach the students to look after themselves and their families. Knowledge is power, but sometimes you may have to take a break from the news as needed to preserve your own physical well-being. Meditation is a good way to develop mindfulness. When meditating, recognize what is going on around you. Allow this experience to stay with you as it is. Investigate the feelings and thoughts you have about these experiences. And finally, nurture yourself with care and compassion. Meditation allows you to be kind to yourself. While it would be ideal to have your mind blank when meditating. Sometimes I use this time of meditation to self-talk so that I could achieve some sense of clarity of what's going on in my head. Aside from meditation, how do you practice self-care? Self-care is any activity that we do to take care of our mental, physical, and emotional health. There is a strong connection between mind and body. When we take care of our bodies, we are able to think well and function better. When we take care of our bodies, we feel better too, right? Thus, physical wellness leads to intellectual and emotional wellness. Ensuring good nutrition is important for mental health. A glass of water does it for me, and sometimes I add a teaspoon of apple cider for its healthful properties. According to Healthline in 2020, apple cider vinegar offers health benefits such as weight loss, reduced cholesterol, lowered blood sugar levels, and improving the symptoms of diabetes. Over the quarantine, I also stopped eating excessively. I stopped eating rice, cake, cookies, and chocolates, but I'm not suggesting that you do the same. But perhaps you can tell your students about eating healthy food. You can ask your students to eat more whole grain, green leafy vegetables, food rich in omega 3, fatty acids like salmon, mackerel, tuna, sardines, nuts, chia seeds, walnuts, soybeans, etc., or at least introduce those foods to them. And since it is very hot outside, hydrating with water has many health benefits. According to Kathleen Zellman in an article at WebMD, drinking water helps maintain the balance of body fluids. It can help control calories. It energizes the muscles, keeps skin looking good, helps your kidneys, and so on. So even if you are at home, you should have a glass of water or a jug at your desk or inside your room. Gina Shaw in 2009 quoted Amanda Carlson, RD, who suggests that half a liter of dehydration increases cortisol levels, which is a stress hormone. Health authorities recommend 8 glasses of water, which equals about 2 liters or half a gallon of water a day. Studies have shown that exercise also promotes the secretion of neurotransmitters like serotonin that help reduce symptoms of depression, anxiety, and even psychotic symptoms. The Mayo Clinic in 2019 lists several benefits of regular exercise. It is common knowledge that exercise improves the mood, controls weight, combats disease, and boosts sleep, among others. Recommended hours of exercise is 2.5 hours a week or about 20 minutes a day of moderate physical activity. Sleeping well is something that cannot be taken for granted. Since we all stay at home, chances are we sleep very late. However, consistent wake time and sleep time is good to practice. In order to sleep well at night, try to avoid daytime naps. Getting sunlight during the day increases the brain's release of serotonin, which makes you feel calm and focused. At night, the brain releases melatonin, a hormone that helps us to sleep better. So while it is tempting to use the bed for work, try to only use it for sleeping. Keeping the bedroom cool and quiet will also help you to sleep. The medical news today mentions studies that link lack of sleep to depression. 7 to 9 hours of sleep is best. So, to summarize, meditation, nutrition, water, exercise, and sleep are essential to achieving optimal physical wellness and good health.
As what Dr. Gill mentioned, breaking free from autopilot mode begins with having a mindset to remain healthy. In this pandemic, it is taking measures to reduce virus transmission. As teachers, we must also be role models to our students in doing their part to flatten the curve. It begins with informing them about COVID-19 facts, symptoms, health and safety tips to prevent the spread of the virus. Dr. Gale also shared additional tips for students and teachers on how to be healthy both physically and mentally, such as meditating, eating nutritious food, and staying hydrated, exercising to release the happy hormones, and last but not the least, getting good sleep.
As teachers, you should be a good example of someone who works towards excellent physical well being. Even if you are staying at home, it is highly recommended that you still dress up for work because of the basic principle if you look good, then you feel good, then you do good. Since we are overloaded with tasks to do, maintain flexibility but be consistent with your work schedule and free time. While it is tempting to empty your inbox, do not carry over work related duties during the time when you are supposed to be spending time with your kids or with your family. This means creating boundaries and respecting also the boundaries of people you work with. Chores are a good way to increase physical activity. It is best to work on chores with a happy disposition than carry resentment for having to do more than what others in your house may be doing. Better yet, give children some tasks as well. Finally, take a break from social media. A social media detox will allow you to be present at the moment. Mindfulness means being present in the now. So I hope I was able to share some recommendations for you to consider so that you may live a physically well balanced life. Thank you, everyone.
Dr. Gale ended her story by sharing with us the basic principle of look good, feel good, do good. She also added the importance of having a flexible but consistent work schedule that includes free time, or what we also call as me time. Having a schedule gives us more time to spend with our loved ones. Lastly, even if majority of transactions and work happen online, it is also important to take a break from social media or have a social media detox, because sometimes being online 24/7 breeds negative feelings brought about by what we read, hear, or see online. There are two tasks that I'd like to suggest you try. First is to create a vision board of how physically fit you would like to be and work on it for the next 21 days. See what happens. Next, I challenge you to do a gadget detox and to spend that time bonding with family members. Find out what they're interested in these days and share activities together. As we wrap up our episode for today, we must always remember that it's okay to take a step back or take a break when things become overwhelming. We work to live and not the other way around. Under this pandemic, challenges are inevitable, but as long as we set our boundaries for work and life respectively with a mindset of the need to be healthy, we can surpass these challenges. Are you ready to take the first step in restoring or finding your work-life balance? Are you ready to take control of your happiness? I'm sure you are. After all, we are not created to be on autopilot mode. Thank you very much for viewing our episode today. See you again in our sacred learning space, our peaceful classroom.
Hello everyone, it's me again, Coach Joseph. I am currently a full-time online personal trainer. Okay, so for today, I'll be giving out exercises that we can use yung mga gamit natin sa bahay. Okay, so we will start na our workout with a warm-up. Okay, so warm-up, arm circles lang tayo, 10 lang tayo per side, clockwise and counterclockwise. Okay, ganito lang po. Pakilakihan lang yung movement. So 10, and then kabila, clockwise, and then counterclockwise, 10. And then next, warm-up is over-unders, ganito lang po. So 10 lang gagawin natin. So 1, 2, okay, so 10 lang na ganun. And then next is over-unders, ganito ulit. 10. So 1, 2, hanggang 10. Okay? So, paano tayo magkakaroon ng resistance sa bahay? So, pag wala tayong mga dumbbells, wala tayong kettlebells, bar, kung wala tayong gym equipment sa bahay. So, naisip ko is libro. Okay? So, for today, libro ang gagamitin natin. Medyo mabigat din to actually. Okay? So, mostly ng mga teachers natin, ito, marami tayong libro sa bahay. So, ito ang naisip kong pwede niyong gamitin sa bahay. Okay? So, first exercise is row to press. So, from here, ganito lang hawak natin. Side. Okay? So, ganito lang ha. Okay? So, from here, try to extend, and then push. Again, extend, and then push. Okay? So, tip ko lang, every time na ginagawa niyo exercise na yan, isipin nyo, may wall na malapit sa inyo. Okay? May wall. May wall dito. Okay? So, just make sure na huwag nyo siya ilalayo. Okay? So, from here, may wall. Iiwasan nyo yung wall and then press. Okay? Row and then press. Row and then press. Second exercise na isip ko is bicep curls. This will involve our biceps. Okay? So, ganito lang po hawak natin. Ganito lang. Okay? The side. Extend and then go up. Extend and then go up. Simpleng simple. Okay? And then third exercise is hammer. So, ang kamay natin sa side ng libro. Extend. From here, extend and then go up. Hammer. So, this exercise is for our forearm. Dito po. Okay? And then, fourth exercise is overhead triceps. So, from here, ganito lang po. Extend sa taas. Okay? Extend sa taas. Then, slowly go down. Then, press up. Down. And then, press up. So, mostly, kapag pinapagawa ko ng exercise na to, meron kasing iba na sumasakit yung joint ng elbow. Okay? So, paano nyo siya a-adjust? So, every time na ginagawa nyo siya, try to lang to adjust kung gaano ka-close yung elbows nyo sa inyo. Okay? So, hanapin nyo lang kung saan kayong komportable as long as ang nag-work is triceps. Okay? And then, our fifth exercise and last exercise is row. So, from here, extend lang natin and then pull. Extend and then pull. Extend and then pull. Alright? So, recap tayo. First exercise is row to press. Row to press. 10. Okay? Then second exercise is curls. Ganito lang. And then third exercise is hammer. Ganito lang. Okay? And then fourth exercise is overhead triceps. And fifth exercise is row. Pull. Pull. Okay? So, ano pa ang pwede natin gamitin na gym equipment sa bahay? Pwede nyo gamitin laptop bag, pwede nyo siyang punuin ng gamit. Punuin nyo lang, just make sure lang na pag may laptop sa loob, ingatan lang. Okay? So, guys, maraming salamat again. Thank you to Dr. Gail for inviting me. So, if you have any questions, you can add me sa Facebook. It's Coach Joseph Jubilado. And also sa Instagram, it's Coach Joseph J. So, maraming salamat everyone. Maraming salamat po.